Welcome to Caffeine Breaks, where I spend 10 minutes or less discussing tools and strategies for STEM leaders in industry. I'm Christine Klon, professional speaker, chemical engineer, Mensa member, and entrepreneur. Today we will discuss the 3 parts of an engineer or a tech type. If you have to work with us, you understand we don't communicate the same as everyone else. Just so you can understand our motivations and hopefully be able to approach us better and for us to communicate better with you as well. So the very first part of the engineer is the most obvious, the brain. Engineers tend to be very smart people who are trained to think critically and solve problems using analytical data. Numbers. We love numbers, okay? We do Sudoku for fun. We think instruction manuals are a good read. So because we think in numbers, the science and the math courses alone, just to get an engineering degree, require a very high level of math and understanding, as well as physics, and then your specialty. So for me, I'm chemical engineering, so I have specialty in chemistry, but also math and physics. So we have data spiraling in our heads 24/7, and we try to constantly create patterns and see trends and understand what the data is trying to tell us. And that's great when you're doing R&D and when you have to analyze a system, but it can be very difficult for managers to get engineers to boil their information down to a summary, 2 to 3 sentences, something that they can take into an important meeting and explain exactly what the engineer team needs. So my advice to get to the engineer's brain is be very specific about what you need from that engineer. If you want a summary, a short one, say, I need 3 to 4 sentences of exactly where we are in this project. That's all you get. Drop it in an email. Otherwise, you might get an eye chart, you might get data, you might get graphs and charts. So be very specific. And if we can use numbers, let us know because we love that. We love charts, we love graphs. So the second part of the engineer is our hands. We love working with our hands. First of all, we love troubleshooting. So we are constantly looking for problems, which, doesn't make us generally fun at parties. Most engineers, because they are so analytical and they're constantly troubleshooting, they tend to be very gifted in that side of their mind, but not so gifted socially. I have known a few outgoing engineers, myself included, but they're more the exception than the rule. So troubleshooting, the old joke goes, the definition of an engineer is solving problems you didn't know you had in ways you don't understand. So we're always going to find something wrong with the lawnmower or the wood splitter or the dishwasher and try to fix it, which may or may not be a good idea. So that leads us to tinkering. We love to tinker. We are like the crazy scientist, mad inventor with the lair in the basement. Most engineers are outed at a pretty young age. I have an example of a child in my life, 4 years old, is mixing apple juice and water and diluting it at the table. And I'm thinking, yes, future chemist or chemical engineer. As a 14-year-old, I thought it would be a great idea to take apart my entire saxophone one night and put new pads on and try to reassemble it. It was a really long night, but I did get it back together and my parents never knew about it. One of the best gifts that you can give an engineer is the time and the space to tinker. And for example, in my lab, we have a rule, we call it F around Fridays. Often you get new ingredients or some new piece of equipment and you don't really get a chance to play and figure out what all the different bells and whistles do. And we love bells and whistles. So it's good to take time, set aside some time during the work week for engineers to really be able to play in the lab. And that's where a lot of the creativity and innovation comes that's going to bring you the new next product. So I would encourage you to give them a space and give them some time to play. All right, the third part of an engineer that might surprise you is the heart. So engineers in general have really good hearts. We are rule-following people. So, we tend to be law-abiding citizens. Again, this is a generality, but for the most part, this is true. We tend to be very honest, and in fact, too honest, and we prefer order over chaos. So the first thing about the heart is because engineers are detail oriented and they tell the truth, never, ever, ever let an engineer be in front of the news representing you unless they have had media training. Otherwise, their answers are going to be entirely numerical and entirely honest, and maybe not what you want to say on national television. So that's just my warning to you. Make sure if you have engineering types and tech types that they are getting media training if they're going to represent you as a company, because otherwise their responses may not be exactly what you had in mind. Also, our projects and our processes become our babies, and spending often years of our lives working on a project or something. And for us to do that, we have to really believe in it in our hearts. When projects get canceled, especially decisions made by upper management, high management, people that we don't get to see, we can take that very personally. And you might see your otherwise introverted, quiet engineer lose their mind and think, what is happening right now? Why am I seeing this side of them? And it's because we do get very attached. We tend to think of these as our babies. So it's important that if you have to cancel a project with an engineer who's been working on it and putting their heart and soul and spending late hours, you need to do it in person. Do not send an email. And you need to be prepared to give the logical reasons why this project was canceled, why the company shifted the direction, because you need to get them on board for the new plan. And if you just send a quick email, hey, sorry, 3 years of your life just went down the drain, but management said so, we're going to do this now, you're going to have a fight on your hands. So please understand that we do become very attached to our babies. And if they're taken away, that's where you're going to see some animosity come out, and possibly some disrespect. So I would encourage managers to take the time to go in person, have a calm conversation, explain exactly what's gone on, and also why this new path is the right one. Apologize that they spent so much time on it, whatever you need to do to smooth it over, but just understand how serious that is for us. And I've talked to many engineers that agree with me. That's the number one painful thing that we see in industry, is having projects ripped out from under us. So I want to leave you with this, that one other thing engineers love, okay, with our hands, is toys. We love toys. So if you can't afford a brand new HPLC, I would encourage you, especially as a consolation prize, look into Legos. If you haven't seen the picture of the Danish foreign minister gifting the Lego pyramid to the Egyptian foreign minister, it's excellent. It's like two kids in a candy store. So you can bribe us with toys. We love toys, bells and whistles, but make sure we don't know we're being bribed with toys, okay? Those two things are not to be related. So I hope this gives you a better feel for how engineers think with our brain, with our hands, and with our heart, and you can understand a little bit better how to communicate with us effectively and how to get from us what you need as well. Thank you for joining me for the Caffeine Breaks podcast. Take care.